o'clock's just early.
It is. It's really early. Look at, there's someone else joining us, though. We are not by ourselves.
Not alone.
Oh my goodness. All right.
All right.
Wednesday morning. Today is the Kimberbell Fill in the Blanks. Lisa's here.
It's gonna have to be my lap, I guess. I don't have the work table.
Self-situated.
Oh, I was
Do you want to
trying to find a flat surface.
You want to bring a chair over? Would that be helpful at all?
Yeah, maybe. I'll just do that.
So we're getting ready. So if you are going to stitch along at home, some stuff that you could be doing right now, you're going to want to fuse the fusible interfacing to the back of your 4 pieces of fabric. We gave you some pretty decent sized chunks if you have picked up your kit from here already. Otherwise, they're like 2 inches by 4 inch pieces. That's what you're going to need for your layer cake pieces. So you can start prepping those pieces and get your fabric hooped. You're going to use sticky water-soluble stabilizer if you have it. In the 5x7 hoop, that's the hoop size. We are actually using the Kimberbell fusible backing. So that's this one right here. We do have some of this in the store. It is basically $29.99. So, and the roll has 12 inches by 5 yards.
So your cake layers,
yes,
you're going to want to fuse a backing too, and this is what we used. We just got that in, so this is our first time using it.
Yeah. In the kit.
I think that,
yeah,
you know, whatever they've been sending in other kits for stuff from them, if you've come to an event or whatnot, it's probably going to be similar to that. But this is our first time playing with that here.
So you want to get your fabric, get your stabilizer hooped. You're going to use the embroidery designs to get your placement of your fabric.
So this is sticky back wash away, like she said. And I have removed most of that. So the shiny waxy paper side is going to go up. You score it and then tear away so that you have sticky revealed. And I know she said we gave you guys a lot of kind of big chunks. So this is leftover fabric. So you literally have enough to make the other towel. With fabric, you will still need more leather or something to replace the leather if you want to make a second one. So I know we're both like, ugh.
Right. The designs are loaded. There's 2 designs. There is a centering design, and then there are the basically the applique design. So there'll be 2 designs that you're going to get loaded. You're going to have your 5x7. You want to hang that up on this maybe out of your way before the, there we go. And then get yourself situated. Regular bobbin thread in the bobbin, nothing special there. But before we actually start, I feel like we have to do like a PSA on these towels. Right?
I think so too. So we opened this pack to get it prepped with the measurements that they recommend in the instructions, and it's not super straight.
You probably have to hold it up a lot taller than that so they can see.
The actual lines, my one corner is definitely off. If I match up the corners, you can see down here how much off we actually are from a straight aspect. So just be prepared. We may need to redo some seams if
you can't fudge
it. If you can't fudge it. This one, we're going to open up another one and check it out, but this one is definitely not super square.
Yes. And as much as we would like to be able to give you one that is perfectly square, I have a sinking suspicion that this is going to be a pretty across the board issue. So we certainly will be mentioning this to Kimberbell, how off ours was. But I do not suspect that there's going to be.
Unfortunately, there's not going to be anything that they'll be able to do either, because this came from wherever they're having them manufactured, not them themselves. And if it's an across the board thing, we certainly can notify them so that they can rectify it for any future pieces. But unfortunately, if yours is off, you'll probably be doing just a little bit more sewing to straighten it a little bit before you put it out.
Yes, yeah, but we'll be adding some fringe to the bottom, so we'll be able to just we can just unpick that seam and straighten that right
straighten
out.
that right
so,
out. So
we can certainly make it work.
just FYI, your eyes aren't crooked.
No,
It's
no,
all-
your towel might
your
be
towel may be a little
bit off. Yes.
So
And I'm sure that's because, you know, anytime you do, it's like stripes, right?
stripes are hard. They really
So,
are. I mean, any pattern is hard.
Right.
And when you're trying to match them from one to the next, it just, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm 100% sure these go through some big, massive ka-chunker.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get fed through, if they're not straight, when
Right.
the ka-chunk happens, you know, sound effects are always free.
Sound effects are perfect. Yes.
And yeah, so the ka-chunking, I think just, it wasn't lined up before it got there.
The towels can be washed. Yes, absolutely. And, you know, we always say something about washing stuff puts things right back on grain. So it is possible that pre-washing your towel may straighten up some of this stuff. Some of it might be distortion. I don't think it's all of it, but
I don't think it's all distortion.
Some
but
of it is.
Might help out a little bit.
Right.
We don't have a washing machine here,
Mm-mm.
thank God, because I just can only imagine what we would end up having to do here if we had a washing machine.
Right.
But yeah. So this is straight out of the package.
Yes.
It has not been washed yet. You certainly can wash yours. And at this point, I would probably recommend it.
Yeah.
So Marilyn, yes, I do recommend washing it at this point, especially because
of the
ours
distortion.
is skewed.
Yeah.
And see if that helps at all.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. So, in case anybody doesn't know, you should have received your emails, Monday.
Yep.
The designs are there. The instructions are there. There are 2 emails this month. We have, yeah. My watch is trying to be super helpful today. Anyways, 2 emails. One has sewing information for regular machine applique. One has the embroidery information for doing it machine embroidery applique version, which is the way that we happen to be demonstrating
what we're going to demonstrate this morning.
Today as well. But your instructions are there. So there's a PDF file, and then there are 2 designs. So there is a 4x4 centering, which is just like last month
that we had to send in an extra email because I forgot.
Right. And so you will load that first, and then you will load your design. You can load them on the screen at the same time. You can do them separately. That part doesn't matter. But that's how
you
you're
will
going to
want
get
to stitch the crosshair part first. So load that first if you're loading them together. Otherwise, you'll be having to hop color stops.
That's right. So we have our stabilizer
is in the hoop.
We have our
we are
hoop
ready to go
on our machine. And I'm going to load the design up on the screen here. I did, the instructions are somewhere.
I got them. I think
you got them? Okay. I'm like, we'll definitely want those.
Printed instructions. Such a pretty cover. I want the cake, like the real cake.
The real cake. Me too.
Yeah. My watch died overnight, and I didn't have an alarm this morning, so it was very close. I was like, holy crap, I gotta get up. When I woke up this morning, I'm reading instructions. But what I was going to say is I stopped at the store and got stuff for breakfast. I didn't get to eat any of it this morning because I literally ran out of the house. So that cake looks really good.
The cake looks good.
It does look really, really good.
Life is short. Skip the meal, eat cake, right?
Eat the cake.
That's too many words.
Eat dessert first. That should be on like everything. Eat dessert first. So in the instructions, they do talk about some of the different products that are used. Then of course you have your cutting guide. The prepping instructions, you're going to want to fold your towel and put those right sides together. So mine is just slightly skewed, trying to line up my ombres. And then you're going to fold over with about a 4-inch piece. So that is going to be your corner crosshair. I did really, really quick press this out. I mean, like super fast. So there's still some wrinkles in there from the packaging. But we're going to ignore those for now.
Yeah, pretend they're
We're
not
just
there.
going to pretend they're not there. So again, the instructions tell you fold that in half, pretty sides together, and then measure 4 up from there. So that's going to give you the crosshair to line up with stitch number 1, which is that. We already talked about your stabilizer. So again, you're going to hoop that with the waxy paper side up. score in the hoop and then remove everything inside of the hoop, which is now where we are.
Right. So let's switch over to the camera here.
And Miss Jeanette, yes, we do have the kits ready. So whenever you would like to come in, we have them available.
All right. So you can see.
Right. So obviously I'm not really awake yet. I looked at that and I was like, why do I still have stabilizer on? Wow.
Yeah,
it's going to be a morning, guys.
So, all right. It's all right. I'm awake. So we're good. Only one of
Okay.
us has to be awake.
I am just, I freaked out. I hate waking up like that.
Right?
That's like the worst.
So, the design is ready and we just need to put our first color in. So,
so the plate is going to be, the first piece. And that is.
So that's going to be my purple.
I don't. No, it's white.
Oh, it's white. Okay. We did
So,
say white, right?
We did
Yep,
say
here,
white.
White. I got white.
So the first color that will be actually appliquing down is the white leather. And it is recommended that you're going to put that down with white thread. There is a decorative stitch that goes on top of it. That is not what we are doing, which that was the purple question if you were paying attention. All right. So we have threaded the machine with white thread. We have our design loaded, and so we are all set ready. We're going to stitch that crosshair that's going to tell us where to put our beautiful ombre towel. I have to say, I really like the ombre though.
It's pretty.
It's
Even though it's pink, right? I know pink's not your favorite.
It's not really pink. I'm wearing melony.
Yeah. It's watermelon.
It's watermelon. I love watermelon flavor. Every candy out there pretty much, and watermelon is like my fave.
All right, so we
All right.
have the design. Now it's important to pay attention to the direction that you're
you
putting
have
your towel
that in. So I have mine folded so that it needs to go in the upper right, depending upon what direction you folded yours up. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to try to not bump the camera too much. I have my side seam on the right hand side and fold it up. So if your side seam are on the left, you would be going for the upper left corner, but I'm going for the upper right. So all I'm going to be doing is lining up my fabric with that square. So again, I'm in that upper right. I'm going to fold that down, and I think you guys can see pretty clearly. I'm right on that crosshair going north and south there. And then we're simply going to open the towel, and I'm going to move around here. I folded it really well.
You did,
It didn't
right?
want to come open.
It did not.
All right. And then we're going to smooth that down on the other side, as we have 20 million hands in front of them.
Yes. All right. And then make sure that you have the rest of your towel out from underneath your hoop. You want to make sure that doesn't get.
Yeah, we don't want to sew that underneath.
No, then it really will be a hanging towel for sure.
You have to have a dowel or something to hang it with. But so you do want to make sure that you're not really far off across the bottom, that you have an even space. If you totally shifted things when you're doing the pressing portion, it is possible to dislodge it and get it out of center.
Mm-hmm.
So just do a quick vision check and make sure that it looks straight across the bottom of your
Unless your towel is really crooked.
Yes.
And then ignore that.
And then just do what you need to do. All right. So we have pressed that down. So again, this is a sticky stabilizer. And you want to make sure that it is stuck. That's the whole point. If it's not stuck, it's not going to do its job. So make sure that you are pressing all around where you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can go ahead and stitch the placement line for the leather.
Yep. It's appropriate to have some morning fabric fondling, right?
Absolutely. Give it a good feel up. Yep. That's perfect.
All right. So I'm going to push the go button here. And we are going to do a little circular shape here. This is going to be the plate for our cake.
Oh, yesterday. They got half of the walls done. I'm like, really? I think I would have shot Jeff by now if I was the one. So I have my pretty white leather here, and this is my placement. So I'm going to completely cover that line up. I want to make sure that I can't see any parts and that I am fairly well balanced in the center. It's really hard when you're trimming if you are just barely, I'm going to go the other direction so you can see. If you're just barely covering a stitch line, it makes it really hard to trim later. So try to center your piece as much as possible. Depending upon what you're doing, sometimes I will fold it back and so that I can make sure that I'm actually in the middle. Leather, especially because it's thicker, it's going to be a little bit harder if you have no wiggle room to hold something to trim.
Right.
So
and there's
of course,
not enough on here to get you a second trim.
there is definitely
A
not enough
second
here for a second.
plate.
So you can't finish the second towel without replacing something for this piece.
Should there be tape on this?
There should be.
Okay.
Am I going to use it?
No.
No. So we're going to just, I just generally hold it while it stitches. So what it's going to do is tack that down. And in the instructions, again, it does say to use Kimberbell tape to hold down those pieces so that you don't have to have your hands underneath the machine and impossible grabbing distance from
That's
the
right.
needle.
PSA, don't put your fingers anywhere near the needles.
No. So, it's not that I don't like the tape. It does a very good job. I don't like the time that I have to take to rip it, stick it, remove it.
Yeah.
So and it's not the money either.
Right.
It's literally just it annoys me to have to waste that much time. So that is totally a personal thing. I am not necessarily
She's
recommending
not anti-tape.
that is you, and that you have to do it the same way that I do. Good morning, Miss Terry.
Are these the scissors?
Those are the scissors that I
Okay.
want. So these are my favorite scissors. You can see really clearly there how they have that nice little curve. They work really, really well. I do not mind the white so much because it's got a white back. The black leather has a black back, which is really nice when you're trimming those.
No, we're good.
All right, so I need to remove my hoop from the machine and I'm going to trim off the excess around the outside of that there. Drag the whole towel out while I do that.
All right, so Lisa's going to be just doing a little bit of trim there. And so how does the leather wash? I'm going to say it washes okay because it's a Kimberbell.
It's the whole point. Is
yeah.
that you can use it as an applique for
Right. So they would definitely not put this particular thing on a towel if it didn't wash up well. So I wouldn't hesitate to wash mine at all. Maybe not high heat and a high dryer.
Agreed.
Hot, super hot. But I would definitely wash and dry my towel. I don't believe that it's intended, it's definitely a decorative towel. So, I wouldn't wipe up my spaghetti mess with it.
Oh gosh, no.
But definitely decorations, those towels don't get quite the abuse as the other one. No matter where, look, I'm like framed with thread. I put it back on us and I'm like right in between the thread. So, oh, that's so funny. I tried to like move the camera today so that we wouldn't be on the thread stand because that's just what happened. So there we go. And then I got to go this way to get out of there. So yeah, it doesn't really matter if you wash these, just be gentle. I would do cold water and a cool iron and a pressing cloth because it will probably get wrinkly. All right, so Lisa is finished with the trimming. And as soon as she has that back on there, because we're bumping the camera a little bit, I'll switch back over there. This way she doesn't have to be so careful and you guys don't have to get seasick. So, and I don't think you need to see us putting the hoop back on. All right, so I'm going to switch back over.
So I've got my beautiful plates trimmed.
Camera magic.
Right? Magically, it's all ready to stitch again.
It's all ready to stitch. So the next thing we're going to stitch out is part of the cake.
The cake. Yep. So according to this, change to the desired thread color. So there is a satin stitch that's going to end up, that's not satin on this one.
It is kind of.
No, they've got candle wicking on the edges.
I didn't grab a brown.
We didn't grab a brown. Is there one over there?
Nope. No.
I guess I'm going to go for a little short walk. I will be right back. Well, that shows you where you're
Nope,
supposed to
I've
put
got
it.
all kinds of other
You
colors,
got all kinds of stuff, but,
but
not,
not
that.
that one. Do you want to take the brown?
Yes, I do.
Ooh, all right. There you go. So
Be right
Lisa's
back.
gonna go grab us an appropriate color for
Pink over there?
the towel.
Light pink?
I do not have a light pink either. I just have the cream. So the next color you're gonna want to use is the bottom layer of your cake. Did I understand correctly? Your stabilizer is wash away. You sure did. So Kimberbell's instructions are to use a sticky wash away. So that is exactly what we did. And yes, you are going to put the fusible backing on the back of the cake fabrics. So you can see the back pieces here. There's the fabric, and then I've got the fusible backing on the back of this. So there's a variety of different fusible backings that you can use. We did choose to use the Kimberbell one. We decided we were going to give that a whirl and see how we like it. It feels very nice, but there are lots of different fusible wovens that you can use on the back. Shape Flex, sometimes also referred to as SF101. OESD makes a fusible woven backing. My absolute favorite is made by Heat and Bond, and it's a t-shirt one. It comes in much larger sizes. So I do really like that one. And we carry all kinds of them in the store. The Kimberbell one, the OESD one. We do carry Shape Flex in the store as well. And Easy Tea, that's my favorite. That's the one by Heat and Bond. So we carry a variety of different choices. And sometimes you need to pick based on
This was the only one that was open.
I like that one
I
better.
think I like that better.
Okay. So let me
got it.
throw some threads on the ground here. So sometimes you can pick based on like your needs. So maybe you need a large piece for a bigger project. Then you wouldn't want to get something that's only 12 inches because then you would be struggling and having to piece that. So you might want something that's a little bit wider. So that might be a reason why you pick one brand over the other. Or everybody has their own little personal things and unique things that they like about something. So, you know, you can kind of try a bunch of them and then see which one works best for you. So I am threading up the machine right now for
the brown, which is your base layer of the cake.
Mm-hmm. So sorry about my hand in the camera there. It's really hard to get to the needle threader.
Yeah, you just can't.
No. All right.
Not do that.
So
it's going to show us where to put the fabric first. What's all this tape? What's up with that?
I know, right? They use a lot of tape.
They use a lot of tape. Next.
Okay.
It's kind of two different shades. You have them next to you.
I do.
Do either of those work?
Yeah, I think this one does.
Okay. All right, so we have our placement line. I'm simply once again going to cover that up completely with my fabric. And I do want to again make sure that I have that kind of centered. Try not to get too close to one side.
Yeah.
You know, some of us are really save the fabric. It's these are scraps. When you're done with this, you're going to get rid of the excess. Don't attempt to
I also, the pieces are a little bit bigger, so you can see the fusible interfacing doesn't go from edge to edge. So pay attention depending on how you place your stuff. You are in, and it's plenty big enough.
Yes.
So
we're just going to go ahead and tack that down. But make sure, like I said, you are looking to center your piece.
It does make it a lot easier to trim away when you've got something to hold
When you
on
have
to.
something to hang on to.
Your mic.
Oh, my mic. Yes, you're listening to the machine instead of my beautiful voice.
Okay.
Because who doesn't want to listen to my beautiful voice at 9 o'clock in the morning?
So you can cut your 4x4 fabric in half. As I said at the very beginning of the video, so if you already heard this, I apologize. But her instructions tell you to cut your pieces 2 inches by 4 inches, and then to cut your interfacing 2 inches by 4 inches. So we went ahead and did that because she told me to. So if you want to,
Either way, you'd have enough for 2.
that's right. You do have enough to do 2 if you want to. You can just leave it bigger, whatever you prefer to do. So in this instance, use your whatever, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Lisa is trimming around the bottom cake piece, and that will take just a second, and then we'll flip off that camera just for a second so she can get that back in without.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be as careful.
So I'm just going to throw everything
It's
on the
good.
floor, not just thread, but whatever happens to be sitting in front of the machine.
Correct, Mary. You do not have 2 pieces of leather. So I just want to, so just so you know, Kimberbell sends us a cutting chart and tells us how big to cut the pieces for your kits before we even have any of the designs and everything. So we just cut the kits like Kimberbell says. So she was gracious enough to give you a piece that was big enough to do 2 pieces of cake, but not recommend enough leather for 2 pieces of plates. 2 pieces of plates, 2 plates. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a 2-person place
What
setting.
she said.
All right. So we have our doodad back in.
Yep. So this is the lower level layer, I guess is probably the better word, for your cake. This thread is going to show. So make sure when you are tacking down these pieces, you are using a color that you want. So we changed ours to the brown, which ours is actually like a khaki color. And I think it matches really nicely. It looks really good with that. But it does a candle wicking stitch at this point. So that's what you're going to see here. Again, this thread, when you are tacking down, is going to show underneath that candle wicking. So make sure that you are using whatever color you want to see, because it is going to show. Good morning, Mom. This is a super cute design.
It is a very cute design. And then up next is the pink, and the pink has fancy stitching around it too.
On the edges.
On the edges.
Yep. So yes.
Okay. That kind of looks like. Do you think those are different colors, or do you think they're all the same?
Those are different colors.
All right.
Because that's definitely brown.
I see that one, but it's hard to tell on those.
They're different.
Okay.
Yep. I can see that.
You can see that?
Ha-ha.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So
So
this piece is done, and we're gonna unthread the machine, and we are going to get prepped. So the next layer is like blushy pinky
yep.
color,
And we used our new favorite fabric, grunge.
Yes.
So it's a really cool pink grunge that you've got.
I think I like the peach better.
Yeah,
I thought I liked the pink better, but I think the peachy one is better. So I've picked a peachy color to kind of go with our fabric. And well, I shouldn't say that. Lisa picked the color.
I gave her 2 options.
She gave me 2
one was
choices.
a true light pink, and one is this. It's just got a little bit of brown to it, maybe, which makes it that peach.
Yeah.
Kind of overtone, but it's definitely still pink.
Sorry, guys. There's
Can
just
I
no
help,
way to
or-
avoid this. I was just trying not to put my
Hand in front of the whole
sleeve
thing.
in their face.
I get that.
The thread matches my sweater,
Well, at least we won't know all of the
right?
stuff we're wearing
Oh,
around.
they're starting to come off.
Oh, I'm moving it around too much.
So if this happens, just make sure you
Restick,
restick.
yeah.
You don't want that to get
So
wrapped
I
up.
can say that this is not a typical wash away sticky.
Oh yeah,
Ours
is
has been
really
out. It's drying out because the paper backing kind of fell off, and we're
we're
trying to use up what we've got
You
here.
can just barely call it sticky.
So there's not a lot. You probably won't have that problem with stuff fresh out of the package. But if you do, just make sure everything stays nice and smooth on your hoop. So we now have that beautiful pink grunge. And again, we've got our fusible backing on there. And we're going to center that piece right over those stitches. And then we're going to tack that down. Tape if you would like to. I don't like to. Right? It's kind of hypnotizing, even
After all these years.
after all these years. I could still get lost in just watching it stitch.
Right. I'm roasting over here.
Are ya?
Yeah.
I'm comfortable, so I'm not surprised.
This corner is hot.
Is it? So she says. All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna slide that out, and I'm gonna quickly trim off that excess.
Woo. All right. While Lisa is trimming that, the next thing that it's going to do is a little bit of decorative stitching. So if you're looking at your screen, it's going to do decorative stitching on the left side. So like the part that looks like the layer. So there's going to be some more candle wicking stitches on the left part of this layer of cake, which has the words "eat the" on it.
Alrighty then. Let them eat cake. I like that one too.
Right?
But oddly enough, cake is not my favorite dessert. I'm a cookies person.
You're a cookies person.
Yes, I like my cookies.
Do you like cookie cakes? Like those big cookies?
Not particularly.
No.
Big frosting on my cookie.
Mm,
I like the cookie to be the main event.
that's fair.
And again, I'm smoothing out, not that you can see. And
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that when I've put that back in there, I've not got my towel in the back turned underneath. So we'll make sure that we're not pulling in underneath when you push that in. So make sure that, again, you're not stitching the top of the towel
To the bottom.
to the bottom of the towel.
Because that's no fun at all. And then we're going to go ahead and push, and it's going to do some candle wicking stitches right along the left side of that slice, that part of the slice of cake, that layer. The cream is on the floor, right there. Can you reach?
I can't.
Okay.
There's a little bit of excess wound off of there.
Okay.
All right. So the short layer, not that it's a different size, it has the word short on it, is going to be next. And we are going to put the cream in because that is your kind of beigey cream colored fabric. Sorry.
All right. And so the next thing that we're going to do is
Hang
the outline for
Something's not right.
Something's Not Right.
Nope.
Oh, yes. We would have had a nice little mess.
It would have made a big mess. I missed the take up lever, you guys. I'm sure none of you have ever done that before though, right? Sorry if I'm bumping the camera. There's like extremely awkward position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I moved that weird.
Yeah. Okay. So let's try this a third time. Third time's a charm.
When I pulled back, it came out of the notch.
All right. There we go.
Third time is always the charm. All right, so we are going to do the placement line for our beautiful cream colored layer, which is going to be this nice little guy here. And we're going to put that right on top of that one, just the same as we've been doing. Make me hungry.
Right?
I want cake. It's nail polish. That's different.
All right. We're going to take that back off and do a little trimming on there. And then we're going to come back. And again, it's going to do a little bit of decorative stitching on that left side. So you should already have thread in there that matches that one. Almost done trimming up these little squares. Anybody stitching along with us? Got lots of people watching today. As my iPad is dinging with news briefings at the top. Oh, good morning, Dad. Are you gonna stitch along with us?
We're gonna have to send him a machine one of
Right.
these days.
He's gonna get a surprise in the mail one day.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the camera. It's not on it. So
I know, I just can't see.
there
It's
we
hidden
go. Behind the camera.
behind the camera.
All right.
Just make sure that that's.
Yep. Okay. So
Again, when you put that back in the hoop, in the machine, make sure that
don't
you're.
take it out of the loop.
Do not do that. Make sure that it is out from underneath the bottom of the hoop. We don't want to accidentally grab hold of that.
No.
All right, so we've got some candle wicking stitches that are going to just go down that little edge right there. And then we are going to thread with white.
It's like a weird focus. I think probably because our hand's been in there so many times.
It doesn't know where to look.
Right.
All right.
And there we go.
So here we go with white thread now. We're going to go ahead and swap that out. We're going to do a placement line and a tack down line. Then I get to trim again. Lucky me.
So let's see. Watching intently as I'm doing my exercise tape. Good morning. Mary is trying to stitch along with us, and Pam said, I use OEST products. Should I use Aqua Mesh Plus or Hydro Stick?
Hydro stick.
Actually, either one of those.
Oh, yeah?
Will work. The
The
Aqua
plus is the
Mesh
sticky?
Plus is the sticky one. The Hydro Stick is the one that you have to get wet in order to get
Gotcha.
sticky. So you could
Either
use
one.
either one. If you want to be lazy, you can just peel the paper off of the Aqua Mesh Plus, and that would be exactly like what we're using here.
Okay, I'm getting a little warm now. All this
Where-
up and down and
up and down
moving
and up and down, yeah.
Where'd our white piece go?
It's blending in.
It blended in. All right, so we just have a white on white polka dot Kimberbell fabric here. And again, we're going to cover up that last section and then tack that in place.
That one was a little hard to tell the right side
right
from
side.
the wrong side when you were when I was putting the fusible interface
on.
on there. So
Yeah, you really have to kind of angle,
Pay
you know,
attention.
turn it a little bit so
Yeah.
that the light can hit it, so that you can see which side is actually the pretty side. Because they're both pretty.
yes, and if it were upside down,
Nobody will know. And it, again, we say this all the time. If somebody points that out, they're not your friend.
Mhm.
Don't
make
show
them anything else.
Don't make them anything. We don't like those people.
Mm-mm.
That's just not nice.
No. Mm-mm. Only Lisa and I can do that to each other.
You screwed that up.
Nana. Oh.
All right.
This is the last little fabric bit that we have to trim. We do have, I think, there's still a
Cherry yet.
cherry, which is a little guy. Little and circular. And then we have words, a fork, and a leaf still yet to stitch out. But we're moving right along with the applique pieces here.
All right. It just
There
doesn't
we
want to go, does
No.
it? Excess towel was getting caught under the foot. All right. Just make sure again, if you're moving that around and your sticky is not super sticky like ours, make sure you're re-smoothing that down in the mat. In the hoop. Yeah, that too.
All right.
All right. So now we are going to just do. Oops, sorry about that. I didn't mean it. My bad. I hope we're following the directions because I kind of stopped.
I think so. All right, and now it's going to do the decorative
plate detail.
stitching on the plates.
Which
And
the picture shows blue. Sarah wants purple,
But I
so
want purple.
it's going to be purple on
Yes.
ours.
Can I have
It's right down
purple?
here. I will I can take
Take
that
that
as you
one?
would like.
Okay. So I am putting purple here. Of course, this is your plate detail, so you can use whichever color you would like your plate to be.
Yeah, I looked at that and I was like, why is that so far to the right? Oh, it's not in the take-up level. Don't want to sew like that.
No. All right, so I'm gonna
Good
hit
morning, Miss Louisa.
go.
All right, so it's just going to do a cute little flowery type thing, scallop edge around that plate. Problem?
It sounded like the thread was shredding a little bit. No, okay, I just wanted to,
Yeah, these kind of stitches are hard to fix later.
yeah, especially on that leather.
Uh-huh. It looks like it's supposed to look.
Just tiny little.
Yeah.
It's definitely perforating
It
through
does
that.
kind of look like a
leather.
top hat, doesn't it?
It does.
Good call. It won't for long though.
No.
So,
It's making a nice.
oh, you got a nice mess there, didn't you?
Yep.
Now
I
it's
am
shredding.
shredding. Yep. All right. I'm going to refrain from saying what I really want to say here. You know that.
Uh-huh. Do you want me to pull it and try to trim them out?
Oh, it'll be fine. We can just pull the fuzzies later.
Okay.
But this could happen to you as well. So it's sticky, it's leather, and we are using a smaller needle. So this is still a 75 needle, which is little because we don't want, and it's kind of doing it. So it does perforate the leather just a little bit. So I'm just going to rethread here. And you have those little scissors. I'm just going to snip that little
Here you go.
gargantuan piece of fuzz off. Sorry for my hands here, guys. But here we go. It's like it never happened.
Totally. What happened?
Exactly.
Nothing happened. So we're rethreading, which is exactly what you guys do at home when you get shredding. So the combination of the sticky plus the heavy leather is probably what we're looking at here.
And it's
But
really
sometimes it
going
just,
at a good clip. So
yeah. We're going to back up a few stitches just to make sure that we are on top of where we want to be.
there's a little sticky on there. There we go.
And rock and roll. So the next thing that we're stitching is a fork. So we've got a silver gray here that we're going to, I'm just going to, there's a big purple fuzz
There it
right,
is.
right there. Doesn't want to move.
Don't move me. They're, yeah. They're not
They're
very
stupid.
user friendly, are
No,
they?
they're stupid. I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about a thing. Not my favorite thread attachment base.
Oh, I'm turning something on the machine over here.
Oh, that's fun.
Right. Okay. So I have silver.
Yep. There's actually two fork stitches. There's going to be the fill, and then the next one does just like a straight stitch around the edges to give you a little definition to the fork. So The picture really does show both are the same color. You certainly could change if you wanted to. So we're getting some underlay, so everything hopefully looks really pretty.
That's gonna come up. It's getting really close, isn't it?
Yeah. So this one is going to take a couple minutes. It's got a 3-minute time on the screen, which means it will be at least 3 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, we should like right now. Leave table, leave trash can, leave
Yeah, and some drawers and yeah, we
flat
definitely
surface
need to.
we need to rearrange.
I'd like to do that before next week.
I agree. We're discussing setting up our beautiful studio corner here that we're in and getting all of our cameras ready, and
Yeah,
so we look all set when Jean comes back next week.
right. We got to be looking like we've been super efficient and busy.
We've been super busy. I'm not sure how efficient we've been lately, but
Yeah.
sometimes
making-
busy and efficient don't go well
No,
together.
but we are making good room for the new cabinets.
Yes,
So-
we are definitely doing so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need to add to the order? No, another cutting.
Cutting maybe,
Yeah,
but I want a Ginkgo. I don't want the other one.
I know. So that's because we could always swap.
Yeah. Well, see how we like it for
Yeah.
that's sitting. Yes, it's gonna look a little different.
Yeah.
We're getting some new fun stuff.
We're super excited. Yeah,
I
lots
just
of,
wish I knew when it was supposed to be here.
I know. It's so.
And part of me is afraid if we call and say, "Hey, can we add one more?" It's gonna
delay
take
it more.
everything will be delayed,
Yeah.
and I don't want that.
Right.
So you can definitely tell that's a fork at this point.
Fork you.
Yeah, that too.
Oh. There's a dinner show in Florida called Capone's,
Okay.
and it's like a speakeasy with Al Capone is there, and the waiters all wear like the attire,
Oh,
and they all
Vera.
have like squirt guns, right? Guns, but they're like squirt guns, and they treat you really bad. So they always
It's like
Yeah,
Dick's
it's
Last
like-
Resort.
yeah, they're always like fork you. So,
That's really funny.
all right, so we've got our fork done, and then there's like some detail, but I say we just keep the same color.
I think yes,
All right.
and the picture shows. I'm pretty sure that it is all the same color. It's just a little bit of edging. Again, just to give the fork a little bit of definition. You certainly can change colors if you would like to, but I don't think it's necessary. And then the next guy is going to be the frosting. So that one's going to be a little bit longer of a time. It's going to do.
Good morning, Jackie. As we are both like staring at it, what are you doing next?
Right. Not a lot, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So this next one's 11 minutes long. So like we said, it's going to take a little bit more time.
So that is going to be the part that kind of does the outside, the fills in the top, and then in between the rows over here. So like she said, that one says it says 9 minutes. Oh, we've done 9 minutes.
We've
of the
done 9
design.
minutes.
Thank you.
Like, no, doesn't.
I'm
Where
like,
are
I'm
you?
looking at the wrong spot.
Like, I don't have my glasses on or anything at the moment, but see if I can do it right. First try this time without killing the camera. Maybe, maybe not.
No.
Dang. I'm just not at the right angle. Standing up and threading is not recommended. I missed the notch.
Yeah, I think you missed the notch. Sorry, guys.
I couldn't see.
I know, right? It's a little difficult.
I was going blind.
All right.
Like, threading blind. Not
Yeah.
that I'm actually going
So,
blind.
yeah, we're officially threaded there now.
All
so
right.
we're going to hit the start button.
So this is going to do each of the layers and then down the side, plus the actual making it look like a slice of cake on top.
Yeah. We'll pan back to this because I don't think I doubt anybody wants to stand here and not stand. You're probably sitting. I don't know if anybody really wants to stare at this for 11 minutes.
No.
But we'll flash back to that in just a second. We'll let that stitch a little bit. So yeah, there's some. This is going to be super cute, don't you think?
I do.
Yep. Lisa said now it looks like cake. Is the leather special, or will what I have in my stash work? Well, I don't know if it's thinner than what you already have.
Right. Don't know what's in your stash.
It's hard to say. If you have a kit and you compare it, it might be.
Yeah. The leather is, it definitely, you know, it's not real leather. It's a faux leather, but it definitely has that feel. It's not super heavy. So if what you have is fairly thick, then I would say no. You'll see ridges in the cake versus, but as long as it's not super heavy or anything, I would imagine you can probably give it a go.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, it looks different.
Right. And the other thing that we know is that with this particular leather, we do know that you are going to be able to wash it. We don't necessarily know that depending on what you might have in your stash. If this is decorative only, might not matter. So, you know, you can always give it a whirl. It's just a towel.
It's just a towel.
So,
stitch it out, see how it goes.
Yeah, or you could stitch it out on something else, or you could test that material and see what happens if it gets a little bit wet. You know, worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Best case scenario, it's the towel that you don't let anybody touch. Decorative purposes only.
It goes
right?
You know.
Put it in plastic. Put a plastic sleeve over it, and then no one will be able to use it.
No getting that wet.
Oh, that would be fun.
Or dirty.
There's going to be a whole
What
bunch
is
of
it about
houses.
tomato? It never fails to get everywhere.
It does.
You can cook like 7 nights a week, and the one that you decide to do tomato-based something,
Yeah.
that's the one that makes the mess. Why? Why does it do that?
I don't know.
Because it always does.
I feel like somebody might have asked us about the Kimberbell leather like a long time ago in this. So Kimberbell leather comes in a tube.
It comes in a tube.
They're
it is
$9.95?
not available by, I think they're
$12.95.
I think they're like 11, but I will go check.
Oh,
while
and
this
then we
is-
can show them the fancy tube.
Yes. But no, it does not. We do not have any leather by the yard here.
Oops.
My bad. It was caught on my
I
heel.
see that. It's still connected though.
Ooh,
And the iPad didn't come flying down.
that would have really, really been bad.
All right.
Long cord.
So, as Lisa said, we don't sell leather by the yard. The only leather that we actually sell in the store is the Kimberbell leather, which comes in these fancy little tubes. You may have already purchased some fancy Kimberbell tubes. They're tube stuff. They have mylar, they have glitter, and then they have leather.
Glitter.
Yeah, and their leather is it $9?
It is $9.95.
So $10.
I thought it was more expensive.
And your piece is 8
by
inches
24.
by 24 inches.
So I just grabbed a couple.
Yeah.
It says we have back stock of the white, but the white is not on the floor at the moment.
So yeah, these are the different tubes. So they'll stay on your hooks if you have hooks at your house or in a little.
And they are super fun to use. They've got the bag set that you put leather on the bottom and then either color or clear vinyl on the top with the pretty zippers. There's lots of stuff that they are using it with, and it does come out really nice.
It's like a peekaboo or something,
I can't believe I didn't totally screw that up.
right? Good thing that was super long. I think it might have been because I actually had my foot on the cord.
But it ripped off of here. That could have been like
Yeah.
a
But
disaster.
we weren't also on that camera, so all good things.
All good things. But
Louisa says always wear red or black on spaghetti day. True.
right.
Except for black though. Like if you wear
I-
black, then you have those little grease spots, right?
Yeah.
that you don't notice when you go to wash your clothes until it's been washed and dried, and then it's there, and you're like, oh, it's
son
so
of a
much harder
gun.
to get off once it's been dried.
Yeah. It's one thing that my husband and I don't mix is our laundry. He does his clothes, I do my clothes.
Yeah.
Either one of us might do the kids' clothes, but like he helped with my laundry and I had a stain on a shirt that he took out of the washer and threw in the dryer, and obviously he didn't know, which I'm not complaining. I mean, he helped me out and all, but it's like, dang it. The one time, of course. Morning.
Lisa says we're a little bit blurry, so it's really hard to know if it's our connection or yours. Honestly, it could be either. It has happened. We are certainly doing it by Wi-Fi here, and as the people start coming into work, their phones are connecting to our Wi-Fi kind of when they come in. So it certainly is a possibility that could be affecting us, but it also could be your connection as well. We can't tell from here, unfortunately. All we know is that we have a red camera, so we're still online.
Still taping, still posting.
Yeah, my iPad doesn't seem to, the picture that we see doesn't seem to change.
Right. Whatever you guys see does not necessarily reflect what we're seeing here.
Yes.
It generally is affected by connection, whether it's our outgoing or your incoming.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
School
I see that it's flying all over the place.
It's kind of funny.
But yes, you're absolutely right, Louisa. When you have stains on the shirt, it's a good opportunity to throw something there.
For some funny placement of an embroidery design, perhaps.
This was right across my chest, so it would be a funny placement.
Yeah.
But,
then somebody can come in and pet yours.
It was on a sweatshirt, so I don't wear sweatshirts to work. At least not that it was a Eastern sweatshirt. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, let's switch over so you guys can see how cute it's coming out.
It's definitely looking more like cake now.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't it adorable? As it's moving.
I know.
Yeah, the camera's not shaking, but everybody's getting motion sickness as the whole thing moves around. But yeah, it's we've got some detailed lines in there, and the top part of the cake to make it three-dimensional is starting to show up. So yeah, it's coming along nicely.
Coming along, and we are more than halfway through this color, maybe 2/3. So we've got a few minutes left, but it's certainly making its progress.
Yep.
You can't even see where that shredded earlier. It looks perfect.
Yep. That's the kind of friend you want. The one that tells you it looks great. Even when there's a blub in it.
No, I think it looks fine.
No, you can't really see it, which is great.
No. So, they're all going to come in and point it out to you. What happened here?
Right? Lisa threaded the machine.
What happened?
Oh, yeah.
Just for clarification, I do know how to thread the machine.
It's hard to do it around a camera.
It is very hard to do it around the camera, so I attempted to do it standing up, which meant I literally couldn't see where I was putting it.
Yeah.
Not a good plan.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What you drinking? Just water?
It's just water.
You need some water with some vitamin B in there.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to make any difference. I could suck down an entire tube of 12 vitamins and my body doesn't absorb it.
So when I worked at the eye doctor, I used to work with this eccentric eye doctor. This is a funny story. You guys will all think this is hysterical. And he would get himself wrapped around and involved in these studies, right? And this was 1998, 1999, so some years ago, right? And he was doing, he got involved with somebody who was selling vitamins, and the vitamin company was doing a study of porta-johns, right? So they were looking for nutrients and things like this to see how much your body expels.
What do we absorb and what
do they
doesn't do a darn thing?
Yeah, and they had found that it was basically just vitamins in there. It was the the body wasn't breaking down the things. And they were doing this because they were trying to determine whether like the appropriate capsule to put the vitamins in, and whether using the vitamin capsule or like powdered was better. And so every day when I would come into work, I would have to hear like the latest update of like, I called it like, I would say these are the like the stories of poop in the store. So it was The Office then. It was really funny, but yeah.
I totally know how to make those with frosting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little swirls.
The little swirls, the little floweries. Yep.
As we're both staring at it. You guys can't see it, but it's coming out really cute.
It's coming out. We're almost there.
Oh.
Almost done.
Yes. What's next after this?
I have no idea. Let's find that out. Probably the cherry. Oh,
No,
we have a swirl at the bottom.
We're both like, what are you doing?
Yeah, where'd you go? That's Carolyn. You want to come on video? No. She says no. Sorry.
So it looks like we're just
Cherry
finishing
on
up.
top.
And then the next thing that we're going to do is the cherry. So we're going to need our red.
Red. And we're going to need the red leather. Right here.
So next you're going to be using
Keep going.
red. All right.
We have quite the setup.
We do.
We're almost there.
And
We're
should we put
approaching.
red in before we do the
Yeah,
outline?
probably.
All right. So we're going to rethread with red. That rhymed.
Rethread with red. Somebody out there heard us say rethread with thread.
Ah,
I bet.
yes.
Yeah. Again. I hate these. They're just so dumb. My least favorite thread attachment at the bottom of the spool.
Yeah. It should be easy.
I like the ones on the dime spools. They just pop open and pop close. That
Mhm.
works really well for me.
One day we'll have to do like a public service announcement on how to
Actually store your
use
thread.
the bottoms of the different spools.
I have been asked that many, many times.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
All right. So we have our red leather.
That's leather. That is red leather. So this is the cherry on top of the cake. Do you trust me to cut this, or do you want to cut it?
Oh, I totally trust you.
I can jack it up for you, no problem.
Yeah, I'm all
All
good.
right. That is super tiny.
It
So
is.
you definitely have enough to do 2 cherries.
Mhm.
Wow, is that a small circle?
All right,
Okay.
let me move the camera so because it's definitely gonna bump
It's
it.
gonna bounce.
There we go.
Okay.
So
Here we go.
all right, so
That
we're gonna
is-
just trim around the cherries,
I need
and
the scissors.
then the next thing that it does is like the stem of the cherry. Should we make the stem of the cherry brown, or should it be
You
green?
had it green. You picked a green.
There's like a leaf and a stem,
Oh,
I think.
here's the directions.
Thank
You
you.
decide. I'm gonna cut.
All right, so stitch the cherry stem detail. Yeah, why not? We can change it. So I'm gonna rethread. I'm gonna take the red off, and I'm gonna put. Oh, let's see what other colors we have over
It's got
here.
your tan brown from the base.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that for my cherry base. So I'm gonna put my brown back in, and I'm gonna do the stem.
This is super small.
I can think of nothing appropriate while I am thinking about the stem of this cherry. Like, I don't know why, but like American, what was that? American Pie? The movie? That just totally, Bandcamp just totally popped in my head with this cherry. Oh, too funny.
One time
This
at
one
band
time
camp.
at Kimberbell Fill in the blank. This did not happen.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
We are going to unhook my I don't know about this microphone thing.
All right.
All right. Let's get that underneath. This goes up in there.
Okay. We are rocking and rolling.
All right.
All right.
Cherry placed. Next.
So yeah, we'll swing over here. This is going to be super quick.
So we've got this, we've got the leaf, and then I believe we have the words.
Yeah. That was really exciting, wasn't it?
Almost not worth changing the thread color for. Almost.
Almost. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is the leaf. So I've got my green. I'm going to thread that up.
I'm attempting to clean up the mess that I made over here. Cutting.
Okay. Sorry about my hand again, guys. That's not going to work. Get that in. Oh, where's my thread cutter?
No, I was cutting.
There we go. All right, now
This
we're
is
going to
so
do
cute.
our green.
Very, very cute. And are you going to gray or are you going to black?
I think I'm going to do the dark gray.
All right.
All right, we have one last color here, which is the words. And I chose to use like a charcoal gray, so a really dark gray instead of black.
Of course, you can choose whatever you would like.
Right. That is the beauty of embroidery, right? You get to be
You betcha.
the artist.
You get
If
to
you
pick.
choose to be.
Wow, we are really making this.
Yes, there's a lot of thread changes here. Okay, thank you.
I have a pile. Looks like Karen picked it up.
All right, we are working on the final letters. And it did not say anything about changing our bobbin thread, right?
It didn't.
These are pretty decent size and there's a lot of stuff in them. So
Yep. So what we're discussing is whether we want to have a black bobbin thread in. These are kind of they're a little bit heavier than a running stitch, but not a whole lot. So if you are having issues with your bobbin thread showing because they're that thin little bit, please feel free to put in a black bobbin while you run these so that you don't see that white showing through. That almost looks black. It's so dark.
yeah, but I don't see any white peeking
I don't
through.
see anything coming up, so. Unlike my patches the other day.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Really obnoxious.
I just walked out of the room. I'm like, I don't have patience for you today. I don't have a name for my machine, but I would have been swearing at her if I had one. Because it just wasn't going well.
No.
Mm-mm. And like I said, it doesn't really make sense. It's the all I did was change the gear, so everything else was the same. So why all of a sudden it decided to not be nice? I tried everything.
I meant when that happened, did you?
I didn't change the bobbin case. That's how I got it to work. I tried a different bobbin. I tried.
Yeah.
I did everything I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Cleaned the machine out. Thought, well, maybe it's just not moving well.
Maybe it just finally vibrated the bobbin case screw loose enough. They do vibrate differently in a multi-needle. So, and you said changing
It was
that.
on both my luminary and
Wow.
both of them.
Hmm.
I have the adjustable bobbin case in my luminaire right now.
Huh.
Because I couldn't get it to not show no matter what I did.
The nerve.
Like I said, I was completely disgusted, and both machines are on in the middle of the stuff. I just walked out of the room. I was like, I can't.
Oh, it's so frustrating,
I'm out.
right?
Check it out.
I think sometimes the little gremlins get the designs when I resave it or something. I don't know why, but it's so obnoxious when that happens.
Yep.
And
I totally agree with this, though.
yes,
Eat dessert first. That should be like, what was that movie? It had Robert Pattinson in it, and you find out he's Jack. and he's all about you know, we dessert first, and
I don't know. I
think
don't
of what
know.
it was. I watched it eons ago.
I feel like I've watched all the sad movies. I missed one.
You missed one. It was actually a pretty good movie. I don't think that he's like the actor.
Right.
I think he's lacking a little, but he did really well in this. It was good. Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Guess that's why he was good in Twilight, right?
He fit right in with everybody else. Should have stuck to modeling. Let's see. Oh, he's in that. I didn't know he was in that either. I really don't get that one.
Remember me?
That was it.
Yeah, I have seen
Yep. That's the one. Yep. They eat cake first.
to eat cake first.
Yes. So remember me with Robert Pattinson. That's what we're discussing. And they eat cake first. It's like they do the dessert first in that movie. So that's where that whole that's where that rabbit hole went.
Right. This towel was probably completely inspired by that.
Inspiration by Robert Pattinson. Nope, probably not.
All right,
I'm gonna
guys.
disagree.
So here's the thing. We have finally completed the embroidery design on this particular design here. So all that's left to do is to take it out of the hoop and peel the stabilizer away, the excess stabilizer away, and then you could rinse this. Now, the last thing to do if you want to add the tassels, so if you are getting one of our kits, you have tassels and pom-poms.
Who has these guys?
Yep. And her instructions are perfectly clear on this. You literally lay the tassels on top of the sewn line that's on the bottom of your towel, and you stitch over top of it. And then all you have to do is tuck the ends
into the back.
To the back, or tuck them
underneath itself.
Underneath, yep. Either or, so that you have finished edges and it doesn't unravel. So it is super easy to finish this.
All you have to do is sew in a straight line.
Yes, well, but you know, we did talk about the towels being a little bit.
You may want to adjust your straight line.
Yes. So here's my tip. If you feel that you need to take that bottom piece out and you want to adjust the
try to
seam
straighten out your
so
towel.
that it's more straight, I would take the seam out, fold it up, and straight stitch again. So make sure do the seam again so that you actually have a straight line to follow.
Yep.
It'll be a lot easier to follow that line, adding the tassel pieces than it would be.
Don't try to do it all in one step.
To do it all in one step. Yep, do it in 2 steps. So remove the line if your towel is not straight so that you can add your tassels. You could also add the pom-poms if you want. Both are super cute. And you could just not put anything at the bottom if you didn't want to.
I know there's a lot of customers who don't particularly like those.
Or you could add a different, you might have some Kimberbell fabric or you might have some matching fabric. I know at home, at the place that I used to work, I saw this cupcake fabric once, and I was like, this is so cute. We should have this. And then from that moment on, it was like, she couldn't stop buying cupcake fabric. And so I do have like a little assortment of cupcake fabric. And for some reason, right?
Those are the things you just shouldn't applique in.
Don't put them in places you don't want people to pet. But I think I have some cute cupcake fabric that's like pink on it, and it would be cute at the bottom of the towel.
I think a ruffle like that would be adorable.
Right? That would be really cute. And another great way to sort of straighten out that towel if you have that. So
absolutely.
Lots of ways that you can finish this towel. Fabric, ribbon, tassels.
Yep.
All kinds of different things.
Whatever you like.
That's right.
That's the whole point. Make it yours.
Make it yours.
So this is out of the hoop. So I would trim and get rid of all of the excess, and then the first time you wash it, you can just leave it there, and when you wash it, it'll go away on its own, or you can rinse it, whichever you would prefer. But
warm water if you rinse it. Definitely. And it kind of gets gooey a little bit.
It gets gummy first, and then
so just keep rinsing.
this is literally like not even, it's so not sticky.
No, it's not.
It's really hard. So
Can you think of anything else?
I cannot. I think this is a very straightforward. It's certainly a less steps and stuff than last month's.
Absolutely.
So that tells the difference easily within the.
We're live on Facebook right now.
Oh, I was just gonna say hi.
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 If you you can come over here and
would you
wave
like
and
to
say
be
hi
on-
if you
on
would like.
film? No, she says. Nice to see you.
That's why it looks like we're talking to ourselves.
So it is. I'm just literally trimming around. That's the finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you can literally decorate however you would like.
Right? Just make sure you don't cut through your towel. So
Yes.
Lisa's got her hands back there. So she's
I have my hand, but I am also holding just the stabilizer so that the towel itself actually gravity helps in this one. And I just trim around where I can see.
Yes. All right. So if you are participating in the fill in the blank, your towels are here.
The kits are ready.
The kits are ready. The kits are $10. You get all of the fabrics plus a package of the tassels and trims or pom-poms and tassels that come in your kit. And the kits are additional. The embellishment kits are $10. They are both ready. So you can come and pick those up whenever you would like. If we are holding your stuff for you and you would like us to mail them to you, like maybe we were holding last month and you want us to mail them both at the same time, make sure you give us a call so we can take care of that. Finished project minus the tassels at the bottom. But like I said, you just have to follow that stitching line. So really, really simple to finish. This is adorable as is though. So
if you don't want to, then don't.
And you
It's
can
up to
use your tassels and pom-poms for
Somewhere
something else.
I love those tassels and the little bench buddies. Like if you put them in the seam before you flip it,
Yeah,
they are so cute and it adds so much.
Yes. I think though that is it. So thanks. I know a bunch of you guys got up early and joined us.
And they're all sitting there. This isn't early.
This isn't early, right? It's definitely not early for me. I've been up for a few hours, and I'm much more awake in the morning than
I am much
in the afternoon.
not awake today because I didn't have an alarm, and it's just not the way to start a day. I don't know what time it is. I don't even know what I'm doing. That's why I'm just like, tell me what to do.
Yes. All right.
Not
So I
awake
like
yet.
it when I get to boss her around.
Doesn't mean I'll listen, but
All right,
there you
guys.
go. Appreciate you guys
yes,
checking in.
thanks
Just
for
a
hanging out with
reminder,
us.
Friday morning we'll be doing the bench pillow tips and tricks.
Yep.
So
And that one will not be a stitch
not
along
a stitch
like
along,
this.
and we're gonna show you what we did and tell you, probably need to do this here or whatever. But we'll talk about that on Friday.
We're going to talk about pre-quilting, quilting, putting it together, tips and tricks.
Yep.
And both sewing and embroidery version.
You got it.
So you'll have that video to replay if there was anything complicated.
Yep. Thanks for checking
thanks,
in.
guys.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Ooh, what did you just do?
I don't know. Didn't hit the right button.